The new album and the single, Guilty All the Same, I think were partially inspired by things that we used to listen to before we ever released the record. Bands like Refused and Helmet and At the Drive-In. I mean, we were looking for something like that was new and modern, and we couldn't find it. And whenever we get that feeling, it seems like that's one of those moments that we create music. The one moment though that had never happened before on that song was that the bridge of the song was always designed for rapping. And I just kept looking at it and thinking like, man, if I come in rapping there, like even if I write the best verse I've ever written, it's still gonna be expected that I come in and rap. Like it won't be surprising. So the idea came up to have Rakim on it, and luckily our engineer, who's from New York, knew him through a friend and put us in touch. And a little while later I was on the phone with him, which was just so cool because I'm such a fan of his stuff. And I was telling him, like, here's where we're coming from on this record. Like, rock music right now, the rock genre has moved into this pop world. Like, it's moved away from, loud, aggressive stuff and guitar-based stuff, and it's gotten into this indie alternative pop thing. And we're just not comfortable, like, going there right now, And he said, oh, it's like exactly what I'm going through. He said for years, he does this thing and he feels he wants to uphold a certain like aesthetic and integrity, and rap has gotten into a different place. It's very poppy, and he said, what do you think, what would it sound like for me to do a pop song right now? He's like, I just won't do it. I can't bring myself to like write a hooky, pop jingle. And I was like, well, it's like perfect then. It's a perfect match for this song. I feel like musically, people want to say that there are guilty pleasures like Bon Jovi or like Justin Bieber. Those are not my guilty pleasures. Bon Jovi actually used to be my guilty pleasure, and when I was like a kid, I listened to a lot of Bon Jovi records. But now I'm not guilty of that. I don't have anything to apologize for. You don't like Bon Jovi, if you don't like the way...
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, if you don't like the way John Bon shakes his thing and all that. Then...
Fuck you. I think with any album, like finding something that the entire band gets really excited about is the most difficult thing, because when we decided to move in the direction that led us to this aggressive guitar and drum heavy album, it was like, yeah, we were all interested in the song. The song felt exciting. When Mike came to the table with Guilty All the Same, he had been working on a batch of songs that were going in a more electronic direction. And he was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do like this. This is what I want. This is what I'm missing. What do you think of this?
Shocking.
And it was like, and I was like, fuck yeah, I want that all day long. I want every song like this to be, the whole record to be like this. That's what I wanted.
Chester promised that we'd release an album every 18 months. And then I sent him an email saying, what the fuck, dude?
What are you talking about? Why are you telling people this?
And our intention has been for a while to try and release things regularly at the very least. And at the time too, back during Minutes to Midnight when we put out that album took us like 18 months just to write it. So it was like forever between that album and the one before it. Our main concern though, whenever we're making a record, is always the quality of the record, to make sure we're happy with it. And I always tell people it's like a left brain and right brain experience for us when we're making the record. Like there's the creative side and the logical side of your brain, and when we're making an album, they're always like kind of like in trying to find balance. Like I want the craziest, most like interesting creative ideas to just pop out, but at the same time I also want the time to like craft the songs and make something hopefully like sophisticated and smart to the best of our abilities as a bunch of idiots. And sometimes that takes some time. So we just do our best to get them out in a timely fashion.
Yeah. Even through the process of making a record, like in the past we've started off in one direction and gone another. And it's same in the case of this album. We were moving in a direction, when we were like working with Steve Aoki. I think people were really expecting us to go further into the EDM side and further into pushing the pop side of what we're doing. And so for us, I think even that was the direction that we were kind of feeling like we were gravitating towards. And at a certain point, it was like, we don't know if that's what we want to do. Let's move somewhere else. And then, you know, I didn't even know that that was what we wanted to do until it was brought up by Mike, or, you know, if somebody else comes in and goes, here's a song, and all of a sudden we're inspired, it inspires us, you know. That kind of process happens all the time. So we're never really not writing. We're never really not moving forward.